Hey everyone, and welcome to part one of the end of the year project. Basically, now instead of recording everything in that small week between Christmas and New Year's, I'm just going to record my stuff basically at the end of every month where I have some significant events go on. You know, that way it's all summed up and you can see me a bit throughout the year. Hopefully, a bit cleaner and better than this, but hey. you know, it's just a spur of the moment idea that I had that I thought would hopefully help me out. So yeah, expect these, throughout the year, and then I'll edit everything together at the end of the year. That way I have my sorry, have everything at the end of the year. It'll make my job easier. I might also just post these on my social media just for my own purposes. But yeah, so let's talk about January of 2023. Blah, 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 blah. I'm also doing this in one take, so hopefully I don't mess up too much, or I can edit around it, because I'm a good editor. No, you're not. No. So, what happened in January this year? January 6th. In 2022, I'd ordered some stuff from the merch store of Outside Xbox / Outside Extra, and I finally got them. A set of Moonbeam dice. The joke in the Ox Venture D&D series is that Moonbeam is one of the easiest spells to cast. It just came up at some point, and they looked like nice dice, and I wanted to have some Ox Venture dice for myself. I also got a poster for Ox Venture Blades in the Dark, a fun steampunk series hosted by Luke Westaway, following the Ox Venturers, Luke, Ellen, Andy, Mike, Jane, and of course Johnny Chiodini. A poster featuring the Outside Xbox and Outside Extra crew. I just love the channel and I want to support them. Of course, now that I've gotten some stuff for Outside Xbox and Outside Extra and the X Venturers, I have to get some PlayStation Access stuff. To support them too, because they are fun, interesting, awesome, crazy characters, and I love them all. January 8th, I hung out with Pat and John Brown. Played TMNT Shredder's Revenge, a game I've been curious about since release, and also we all have some history with TMNT games, playing on the Nintendo or at the arcades. It was a nice afternoon, and then we also played Castronauts, which was stressful. Basically, imagine keeping a ship up during a battle while fighting the enemy. It's hard and takes communication and such, and it was just a crazy fun time. John, Pat, Marianne, and I were able to at least help them get 3 stars, for a couple of their levels. Basically, each group, it's like, Angry Birds and a few other things. Like, oh hey, do better, get more stars on your thing, and it makes you look better, and yada yada. And they had, some 1 and 2 stars, and we helped boost them up from, 2 to 3s on a couple of maps. It was crazy, it was hard, it was challenging. It's a nice little fun party game. So if you have some friends that you want to get together and play a random game with, check out Castronauts. Also have controllers for everybody, because yeah. And then January 9th, saw Avatar The Way of Water with Nicole. After having had dinner with Patrick and Nicole, we try and get together for some time as we can, because life's crazy and it's good to be social sometimes. As for the movie itself, it was visually stunning and an interesting story. A bit long for me at 3 hours, but I was pretty well engaged the entire time. I can't say everyone should see this, but, because it may not appeal to everyone, but I thought it was cool. It's one of those things you can't really review, besides saying, if you like the first one, you should like this. Basically, I was trying to coordinate a meeting with Pat, Nicole, and Margaret, just hang out again, and yeah, the idea that Pat had was, hey, let's go get something to eat. And Nicole also wanted to see a movie, that movie specifically, and that was what worked out. Margaret could not make it that night, unfortunately, so yeah. But still, we had a nice time. We saw the movie. We had fun. Talked about it afterwards. It was interesting and cool, and hopefully I can coordinate again with you guys to hang out and do some more stuff. And then the last couple of big things for January were January 25th. I turned 35. 35. I guess I should, whatever. I didn't really do much that day. You know, it was just a nice chill day. I like having nice chill days on my birthday because, my God, my job is enough people as it is. I'm an introvert, and it drains my social battery having to people so much. And I still have to coordinate things with Pat and Brian and Alex and probably a couple other people who are like, hey, we want to hang out and do stuff because, you know, it was your birthday. So, yeah. Being a popular introvert can be a challenge sometimes. And by popular, I mean having, like, several people who are like, hey, we should try and coordinate hanging out at some point. And then the other big thing for January was OhioCon. Again, I was a photographer. I got some pictures. I got some cool stuff. Just show off a quick couple of things that I have nearby. Because I literally just recorded that video before recording this. I have Brooks' cane sword. See? It untwists. I'm not untwisting it because it takes a while. I have my cool new steampunk sword accessory. It's an accessory that I'm going to call steampunky because I'm kind of a sky bandit, detective, etc., etc. I got a cool flask that I will use for water. And of course, I have my best buddy and best friend, Valerian. Thank you for the nice hugs. And yeah. So that wraps up January 2023 for me. You know, an eventful month. Did a lot of stuff, had some fun, did some cool stuff. We're a good ways into February at this point. The Super Bowl is on the 12th, apparently. I'm not a big football guy, but it's good to know about. Yeah, is there any other, you know, major noteworthy events that do take place that I do want to talk about? I will make note of them. I believe also Panic at the Disco unfortunately broke up this month. It's something that I heard about. I haven't really heard much about it in the last couple of weeks, so yeah, but still something noteworthy and interesting. They had some good songs that I really enjoyed, and it sucks to hear about that. So yeah, I think that's it. So that's January. Let's see what the rest of the year brings us, shall we? Until next time, everyone, have fun, stay safe, keep hydrated, and of course, remember, every month has a story to tell. Or sometimes those months don't have stories to tell. I don't know. We'll see what I come up with. Till next time, peace. Hey everyone, and welcome to 2023 in review, covering February and March this time. Basically, I got through those 2 months, and they were a bit light on content, so I wanted to combine them together. And I will probably be doing that for the rest of the videos as I go along. So yeah, just bear with me on that. Looking at February 8th, I got the Platinum Trophy in Alan Wake. Basically, it's a cool thriller game where you play as the title character. There you go. Alan Wake. He's an author who has taken a small trip with his wife, whose name I'm totally blanking on right now, to a place called Bright Falls. Unfortunately, sinister forces are at work in Bright Falls, and his wife is kidnapped. Now, Alan has to solve the mystery and try and save his wife from the dark presence, darkness. I forget exactly. And yeah, deal with crazy stuff like think of Evil Dead and Silent Hill kind of mashed together. Where you have shadowy people who are attacking you and seem possessed by some sort of crazy darkness. Well, also, your character is kind of on the run from the police as you try to figure things out and all that. Honestly, I'd seen Rad Brad play it years ago, and I finally got it myself, and then I got through to get the Platinum Trophy for it. Overall, it wasn't a bad experience to get all of the trophies for this. Some things were a bit more frustrating than others. One of the things is you find manuscript pages, through each level, and honestly combing through each level myself and trying to figure, okay, here's where, page 8 is, can be a bit of a hassle. And also some you have to find on very hard mode. And they're just a couple time things oh hey, beat the final level within 30 minutes or so, or without, using anything but the flashlight. Bit crazy, but you can do it. Look at the trophy specifically, because it's a bit different than that, but yeah. And then, the next February event, I don't really have a date for this, but, because it was a bit of a long-term project. I had moved my chest freezer back into the house. Uh, you see, back in August 2020, there was a power outage that lasted, I think, 2 or 3 days. So basically, I had to clear out my fridge, had to, dump it out and all that stuff. And I'd put it in the garage, and then I didn't bring it back in once, things got back up and running because I kept it on the second floor, and it was a hassle to get in and out of the house. Um, Back in January at some point, we cleared some space on the front porch, so I was able to put it back in the house. And yeah, I've used it a couple times for, different things, and it's just been very nice and convenient, and I wanted to note that. It's great to have it back. I can store some more frozen stuff because, unfortunately, yes, I'm not the best, and I do eat an amount of frozen stuff. Please don't hate. Let's see. That's honestly it for February. So, I mean, kind of a light month, but hey. February, it's winter still. It's casual, it's whatever. March 6th, I received my Ox Venture figures. The packaging is so cool, and I love them. I will have more pictures up for them, just to show you guys really quick. Poof. But basically, I'm a big fan of the Ox Venture series. The YouTube channel outside Xbox, started doing, did D&D, D&D one-shots for, I think it was 2 million subscribers or something like that, just for fun, several years ago, and it's grown into this bigger thing, and it's just really good and entertaining. And then they also have the Ox Venture podcast, wherever you find podcasts, et cetera, et cetera. And again, I really like it because, it's hearing, the audio from the YouTube video, but also, the hosts talk about different things. Some of their other interests, the stuff that's going on their channel. And it's a nice thing, and I really enjoy it. Like, it's a good series that really hits home with me. Because I'm a fan of D&D, but also, there's good drama in the episodes. Johnny Chiodini, sorry if I stress that too much, is an excellent DM. And the players, all have fun with it. And it may not be 100% legit, but, it's fun. I would say definitely less serious than Critical Role, but well worth your time, I would say, if you like D&D and you like fun. And good drama. Moving on to March 7th. I had purchased a new mattress and got it set up today. It was nice. Basically, I had a very old mattress with a memory foam top piece, which I'd gotten some time ago. Basically, I kind of remember this. I got the memory foam top piece just before I got my wisdom teeth pulled in my late 20s. Because I figured I'd be laid up for a couple days, and I wanted to be very comfy. And in the weeks leading up to the wisdom tooth thing, I had some, not serious back pain, but just my mattress is rough. I should change it, yada yada. So yeah, I've had it for years, and I finally got this new mattress, which is a bit of memory foam and other stuff, and it's great. Again, it's not a big thing, but it was a nice thing for me. Let's see. On the 16th, after seeing the eye doctor and figuring some good frames, these frames to be exact, I got myself transition lenses. Basically, they darken when exposed to UV light, making them functional as glasses, but also as sunglasses, at the same time. I like them so far, and yeah, it's nice. Honestly, I got them mainly because when I leave work generally at about 12:30 and it's really sunny, it was kind of shocking to the eyes. But with, my new transition lenses, it's a bit better, and I appreciate it. And honestly, with conventions like Colossal Con coming up, or just doing stuff outside, it's kind of nice to have them. So yeah, it was definitely well worth the purchase, I figure. Another thing that's been coming up, that's been going on in March that I want to talk about, is basically I've just been rearranging my furniture a bit. I'm not going to share pictures, unfortunately, because I'm kind of a messy, disorganized person. But I do have some good ideas that hopefully will make my life a bit more nice, neat, and organized. I just have to actually make them happen. But yeah, so hopefully, I can get that stuff figured, and then I can have a nicer, more organized, and cleaned up style of living. This is just, I'm just sharing this just so, Brad, that you're making some personal growth. You move the microwave, you move the, your oven, your easy bake oven, as I'll call it. The magazine rack's gone. The TV, hopefully, by the time you see this, should be mounted up on the wall. The console should be in a more readily available spot. The couch and the big shelf might move. This couch and that shelf, maybe I'm thinking about. But yeah, hopefully it helps you, and hopefully it's good for you. I think it will be. And hey, maybe you can let me know in a couple months whenever you see this again. How things are. It's a slow process. Because I got to clear stuff. I got to take it either into the storage area, out to the garage, or whatever the heck I decide to do with it. But yeah. And then the final thing for March was we had another session of Tim's game on Yenny's birthday. Another solid bit of adventuring through the Fey Carnival, the House of Illusions, leading to our party leveling up. Now I have to make a choice. Do I continue with my bard levels, or do I make my first level as a rogue? Still pondering this, 2 weeks later. And I finally came to a conclusion on that. I'm going to stick with bard, because I don't really have, good in-game reason for, oh hey, he's picking up rogue stuff now, besides being a gnome and being curious. I think I'm going to stick with bard, School of Valor, for the time being, and then, we'll see what happens with the character as we go on. Basically, he's a former carnival performer trying his hand at being a hero because, he talked a big game and people were like, oh, hey, you can be a hero, you can help us out, and now he's kind of in over his head. But luckily, he's got good friends to back him up, who are hopefully still cool with him after the House of Illusion stuff. Yeah, it got a bit rough. One of the NPC allies is gone at this point, unfortunately. They were possessed. Tried the old, oh hey, hit our friend and maybe that'll break him out of it. Nope. Defended myself against this NPC, and then unfortunately, this person was rendered unconscious for one reason or another. I swear I didn't directly do anything on this, and unfortunately, the possessing person was like, okay, you're not worth my time. And unfortunately, yeah, the attack went through. Yeah. Yeah. So that is it for February and March. Again, like I said, probably April and May will be combined into one, if not April, May, and June. We'll see what happens. I do have a couple of things in the books. For sure, seeing Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, seeing the Super Mario Brothers movie, seeing Scream 6. There was a small update about Nyan Khan. Nothing concrete yet, unfortunately. But, we'll see what happens. I also have Colossal Con coming up late May, early June. And then a trip with, my high school buddies, Matt, Chris, Paul, Jordan, in late July. So that should be something cool and interesting to talk about as well. But yeah, we'll get to those things when we get to those things. Future Brad, you can let us know how that went. Hopefully it's good, hopefully it's interesting, hopefully it's noteworthy. Also, quick spoiler, I did see Dungeons and Dragons already, but I'm not doing the April stuff, not yet. Because I saw that on April 1st. Cool. Alright, so that's all I had. Thank you for listening, everybody. And I will pass it on to the next Brad in the series of Brads who talk about my year in review. Until next time, everyone, have fun, stay safe, keep hydrated, and of course, remember, every character has a story to tell. Peace. Hey everyone, this is the end of 2023 stuff, part 2. Basically, I haven't recorded anything since the last episode, so I've got to cover from April through December, and then just quickly give, the plans for 2024. I've got a couple of quick resolutions that I hope to enact. On April 1st, I saw Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. Basically, I really liked the movie. I think everyone played their parts well, and it was a solid story with a good mix of humor and serious moments for our characters. You know, but being a bit more critical, some things weren't entirely necessary. I think they paid everything off. This person has this person has this issue, and they learn to grow, and they learn/grow from it in the end. Lost love, lack of confidence, etc. One thing that really stuck with me was the speech on the beach. I'm the champion of failures. A very accessible movie for all audiences, I would say, and certainly a movie I wouldn't mind adding to my DVD collection one day. Basically, I'm one of those people who does like to have the physical movies because I appreciate streaming, but it's also nice to be able to look back and go, oh yeah, I remember E.T. or Back to the Future or Jumanji, or I can't think of later movies, but you get my point. It's nice to have those things. Saw Scream 6. I thought it was a solid... This was on April 3rd. I thought it was a solid addition to the Scream universe, though I honestly haven't, sat down and watched 4 and 5. I watched James A. Denise's series, Dead Meat, talking about the movie, so I know the plot. But yeah. What got me interested in this film, was one of the trailers, where they have a chase scene with Ghostface. Basically, they go through a supermarket, bodega, whatever, a small shop, and it just felt like the stakes were higher than before, because, in the first couple films, we're used to, oh, hey, you get a call from the killer, and he's, taunting and yada yada, and then shows up in your house, or, spirits you away, to, a smaller location, unfortunately, Randy in the van. But yeah, here, dude walks into the store, takes one dude out, the shopkeep pulls out a shotgun, blasts at him, gets that guy, and, shotgun. Yeah. It's, yeah, it's heavy. But yeah. I really enjoyed the movie, so I might have to go back and watch 4 and 5, basically, is what I thought. And then April 8th, I saw the Super Mario Brothers movie. Basically, a solid movie for both fans of the series, like myself, and the next generation of Mario fans. Honestly, a bit more geared toward them, I would say. I like the plot of the movie, though it is still weird going from the real world to the Mushroom Kingdom via pipe beneath Brooklyn. I feel like this might be a movie that this generation's kids will look back on fondly from their childhood. Not quite Back to the Future level of good, but a solid movie for them to, nonetheless. That's just how I feel about it. Certainly better than the 90s Super Mario Brothers movie, the live-action movie with John Leguizamo, Bob Hoskins, Dennis Hopper, etc., etc. April 20th. I went with Patrick and Margaret to a live show of Last Man Standing, a trivia show on general pop culture with the host Bruce Campbell, star of the Evil Dead movies and the series Ash vs. Evil Dead. Also, he's one of my personal acting heroes. If I got into acting, it'd be cool to do some of the, roles Mr. Campbell got to play. Ash from, the Evil Dead series, Briscoe County Jr. from The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. I haven't watched it yet, but I do have the whole series on DVD because I found it at Walmart one day, years ago. The character from Jack of All Trades, and of course his role in Zed and Hercules, which I forget the name of that character. I know he was a master thief, and basically it was just Bruce Campbell hamming it up because, it was him, Sam Raimi, Lucy Lawless, etc., etc. So yeah. I'm just trying to go through these quick because I gotta record everything. April 21st, saw Evil Dead Rise, the next in the Evil Dead series. Another great film, for the series of movies. I said series so many times. A bit harsh for me at times. Basically it follows a family under attack by, Deadite mom in a high-rise apartment building. Slum high-rise apartment building. And yeah, it's similar to the 2013 remake and definitely worth a watch, I would say. You know, I prefer the campy Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness, but this is a good movie. Like, basically it's just that how much gore are you comfortable with? And yeah, also just having kids involved in this serious thing. Like, there's like probably a 6-year-old, and then a couple of teenagers, and then the mom's sister, who is, you know, got to be like in her 30s or so, like me. So I guess that's what it comes down to. May 13th, I completed Dragon Quest XI, the definitive edition, 100%, and I got the platinum trophy. Now this is different from Dragon Quest XI because it adds some content to the game. Basically, you know, a 2D world called Talkington, I believe, where basically, you know, you talk to little NPC dudes, they give you little side quests, and then you come back and, you know, fulfill those quests. You know, and it all ties back to other games within the series from the first 9 or 10 games, I forget. But yeah, and then they have like an additional super boss that I would say is on the level of Emerald Weapon or Ruby Weapon from Final Fantasy VII, which I may have some stuff for 24 there as well. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it was interesting. The Time Worm was a hard boss, and yeah, I do not want to do that again ever because I'm pretty sure it added 10 hours to my game time. However, if for some reason you are looking to this video for specific advice in relation to that fight, let me tell you what I've got. How to beat the Time Worm just in case I need this again, or someone else does. Give Eric the double boomerangs, boost his attack to 999, use double down constantly. Basically, it's a double boomerang attack where he throws both boomerangs and does as much damage as possible. Trust me, it helps. Second, pet pops for Yggdrasil's Blessing as necessary. Yggdrasil's Blessing basically makes you invulnerable for a number of turns. And this guy hits hard, so yeah, take advantage of that. The third thing, Serena's ability Kerplunk kills her and revives everyone who died, even those in the second party. Basically, you know, you get 4 characters in the main party and then 4 characters as a backup party, you know, if all of the main party falls. So, yeah. And, of course, the fourth thing, Lock. Yeah, I think I had 10 hours in my game. Never again. I may beat the game, but the Time Worm I will not mess with. It's not worth it twice. You know, I'm the hero of Ardrea. I am the legend. I am the luminary. And then fast forwarding into June. The Mardi Gras parade with family was nice. Saw the carnival, which was an improvement from last year. Yay. That's all I really have to say about it, honestly, unfortunately. You know, it's something I've been doing since childhood. So you got to go down every year and at least see the parade if possible. July 20th to 23rd. Had a nice guys trip with my buddies from high school. Matt, Paul, Chris, Jordan. Went down to Hocking Hills and hiked the paths, played some Magic the Gathering, and the Game of Thrones version of Risk. You know, I just did some other random stuff. We've talked about going to, it's either Dragon Con or Gen Con next year, this year, 2024, so we'll see how that goes. I got a request off for it, and I gotta get all my stuff together for it, but I do plan on doing that, which is somewhere in August. I gotta look that up. Anyway, moving on to, I guess this had to be, I don't know, whatever. I attended my first comedy show with Stephen Hofstetter, with Nicole, my friend, you know, from the Mardi Gras parade and other random events throughout this year. I forget what we all did. You know, it was a good time at Hilarities. Maybe next time we can eat at the restaurant. They also served some appetizers during the show. I think it was like mozzarella sticks or something. Like, they have a menu, but we got mozzarella sticks. They're good. I like them, even though they're probably bad for you. Moving on. August 19th. Attended the Asian Lantern Festival with Nicole. I'm not as familiar with the ritual, but basically we made paper lanterns and released them onto the pond near the Metro Parks in Berea, Ohio. It was a nice time. You know, she had a good send off for her former pets, Foxy and Angel, who had unfortunately passed over 2022, I believe. Like one was in November of 2022, and then the other was like January or February. Again, I'm not familiar with the ritual, but basically, I think that's like part of it is like saying goodbye to some things from your past. Yeah. August 21st. It was announced by Nintendo that Charles Martinet, the voice actor for Mario and several other characters from the Mario Brothers series since, I believe, Super Mario 64, would be stepping down from his role voicing the character. He's voiced Mario since 1994 all the way to 2023. He did a great job giving a voice to Nintendo's main character, among others, including Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, and other variations of the above characters. Alright, moving on to September. Netflix had released a live-action retelling of the One Piece story, covering the East Blue arc, which was... It's either 40 or 80 episodes, I forget exactly. I think it's 40. Condensing about 45 episodes into 8-hour-long episodes. I thought it was a nice version of the story. Obviously different, and not as developed as the original story. Still worth a look, I'd say, especially for those who are curious about One Piece. Obviously, it's established. I'm a serious One Piece fan, so I like this. There may be other opinions. I know there are other opinions on this, like, oh, I didn't like it as much, it's not as good as the original story, etc., etc., but, like, if you got people who, like I said, who are curious about it and want to check out One Piece, this is a good starting point. Like, I feel like if you watch this and you're like, yeah, like, I want to check out One Piece, you will not be disappointed because the story is more developed in the anime, and then I would presume also even more so in the manga. But also, I understand if people don't want this to consume their lives. So, just saying, I think if you want to check out One Piece, start with Netflix series, and then if you want to see more, go from there. That's all I got. Moving on to October. October 20th. Nintendo released Super Mario Wonder, the first game to feature another actor voicing Mario, because Charles Martinet stepped down from the role. Kevin Afghani, my apologies if I said it wrong. I think he did a wonderful job. If I hadn't heard about Mr. Martinet stepping down, I probably wouldn't have realized the voice had changed. Keep up the good work. I can't wait to see more Mario. I may get a Switch one day. I'm not sure yet. Like, it's just something I've been bouncing around that I wouldn't mind having, because I want to play some games like Mario and Legend of Zelda and just all this other stuff, man. Like, but, yeah. And also, I think I forgot to mention it, Charles Martinet will, like, still be making appearances at conventions, signing autographs and stuff, like, for Nintendo, so he hasn't been like, oh, hey, we're done with you, goodbye forever. It's just, he's stepping down from the Mario role, as well as the other roles, so, it's, he will be missed, but, at least I feel like, Kevin has done an excellent job of taking on the role, and I can't wait to see more stuff. And I hope, Mr. Martinet feels the same. I'm sure he does, because he's a nice, wonderful human being. Yeah. It's a bit emotional, man. It's a character from my childhood. Moving on to November. November 1st, got the Platinum Trophy in Dark Cloud. Basically a PlayStation 2 game that is a dungeon crawler, where, you go through each level of the dungeon trying to find the different pieces of the, local nearby village and put everything back together. So it's like a bit of The Sims or SimCity, as well as, a dungeon crawler. I know there are games like that, I just can't think of any of them right now. But, it was nice, it was fun, it was interesting, and, it's a classic game that I did beat before, but with the chance to get, the Platinum Trophies and stuff, like, I had to take advantage of it. let's see. Not a bad platinum to get. The most frustrating trophies I had were to catch the rare fish. They're basically two rare fish. I forget the names of them. But yeah. And then collecting 65,000 plus currency. That's basically, the max amount of currency. The 99, 99, 999, etc. in other games. Did this in about 65 hours. But I did take the time to give all 6 of the characters, of the team members, their ultimate weapon. Because, I wanted to do that. Because I don't think this game is like Dragon Quest 11 or Suikoden, where I'm going to revisit it occasionally. Like, I did what I did. I got the 100%. I think I can lay it to rest. Although I do love, rebuilding the first village, Tone Village. Like, it's just so cool. And, like, I recorded a video of it on my phone, actually, when I did it the last time, like, 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. Also, I got the Platinum Trophy in Jak and Daxter, again, for the second time. I did it on the PS3 version, now I've done it on the PS4 version. They had a bundle of the first 4 games. Jak 1, Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy, Jak 2, Jak 3, and Jak X Combat Racing. And I bought it. I got the trophy within 5 hours, I think. I love the games, and playing them again is something I've done since I got them. So I'd say I've beaten it about 4, maybe 5 times in 20 years. It's just like that nice. Like, at least the first one. If I get a PS5, I might do it again. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure, like, I want to get PS5. Like, I wouldn't mind it, because I want to play Ratchet & Clank and Baldur's Gate 3, but 35... and like work and other important stuff, like I might not have the time to dedicate to it. Like, that's the issue with the Switch too. It's like I might not have the time to dedicate to that. So I'm on the fence. Also D&D and other stuff. And then also, just some other random movies that I saw that I wanted to talk about. I saw Bill and Ted Face the Music, the third in the Bill and Ted franchise. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and now Face the Music. The duo, must come together to keep reality from falling apart with their song and the crazy journey to go on to figure things out. I don't think it's as good as the first movie, but it did amuse me and was worth a watch. Which currently free with ads on YouTube. One thing I liked was Bill and Ted saying goodbye to their older selves, like basically retirement age, like 80 plus in, like a hospice place or something like that. That was a nice bit. And passing the torch onto their kids to, to be the music geniuses of the future who ultimately save the day. I don't think it'll appeal to everyone, but fans of the series like myself and my brother Patrick, I'm sure we'll see the value in it. November 3rd. Work started on waterproofing the basement in late October, around the 30th or so, and will be concluded in early November. We had some flooding issues in the past, and with the room waterproofed and able to store more stuff, we can finally figure adopting a cat like we've been talking about since October 2021. Yeah. Almost done. November 11th, I got to watch the movie Big Fish, a 2003 Tim Burton film. Basically, our main character is just telling his son about his life journey, and some of the fantastic things that he saw, like, his tall tales, basically. But, it was good, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I got to see it finally. And if you have not seen it, I would definitely say it is worth a watch. Just some of the quick plot points that I wrote down. When he met a witch and saw how he passes on. Or when he met a giant and helped him to gain the courage to leave the town. They were all great stories, and it's magic. Some of the things they do are magic. My punctuation is terrible on this. I also loved, when I saw the love of my life, time just stood still. Like, for real. If you do nothing else, check, look for Big Fish. time stop. Like, it's crazy. I just loved the movie, and that was one of the scenes that got me interested in seeing the movie. Is just, yeah. And then going into December, the basement is now ready for us to fill and place our items. We had to wait so many days for the cement work to properly, like dry and seal up, so that we don't have any issues with water or potentially cracking things by putting too much weight on them. Christmas was a nice time. Got to see friends and family. Played some more D&D, and got to finally test out my commander deck. I bought a put together deck based on Strixhaven. I cannot remember the name of the character. Also, Alan Wake 2 was released at some point over the past few months. I watched Rad Brad Let's Play it. Rad Brad is a YouTube Let's Player, who I've watched infrequently since he did Dead Rising 2 at some point. Obviously his name's Brad, but also he's just a very nice, sincere guy, and I like his work, and just hearing about some of the cool personal stuff that he's got going on is nice. Like he was a college dude when he started, as far as I know, and then since then he's gotten married and he does have 2 kids, and just the way that he talks about like caring for his kids it's nice, and I'm happy for him. And I'm glad that, like, he can still do this thing that he loves while also, being a good dad. It's really nice. And, I'm proud of you, Brad, and, you're making the rest of us Brads look good too, and I appreciate that a lot. Unfortunately, I think more tears are about to be coming because I've got to talk about those at the end of the road. Those who unfortunately have passed on this year. And there are a number like in years past. So yeah, let's get to it. First off, we have Tina Turner. Famous musical performer. She passed when she was 83 years old. Known as the Queen of Rock and Roll. I'm not as familiar with her work, but I have to acknowledge her part in music and pop culture. She was definitely an icon. Jerry Springer, known for his daytime talk show, Jerry Springer, which had some interesting characters. He was an interesting guy and former mayor of Cincinnati, Ohio. According to a quick Google search, he was 79 years old. Arlene Sorkin, she was 67. Most known by myself and a number of my friends for her portrayal as the voice of Harley Quinn in Batman the Animated Series. She also had a major part in the daytime serial Days of Our Lives as Calliope Jones. Yeah. Paul Rubens portrayed Pee Wee Herman originally in his comedy shows, then in the series Pee-wee's Playhouse, and in 3 movies. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Big Top Pee-wee, and Pee-wee's Big Holiday. I've only seen Big Adventure, which is a great movie from the 80s, early 90s, I forget exactly. And Big Holiday, which was, a Netflix movie made within the last 5 to 10 years. It's a nice little movie. It's a bit more ridiculous and silly. Not as good as the original movie, and I have not seen Big Top Pee-wee, so I'm not going to comment on it. Yeah, like I said, he was in those movies, and he was a good character. He was a good actor, definitely, and I liked some of his work. I know he also appeared in the Tim Burton Batman movie as the Penguin's father, Dunstan Checks In as either an exterminator or like animal control guy who was after Dunstan, which was chimp primate, I forget exactly, but hey, just trying to catch a monkey. My apologies to zoologists. Bob Barker. Most well known as the host of The Price is Right for 35 years, retiring in 2007. A lot of us probably saw him when we were homesick from school. He was a good guy. Also, in the movie Happy Gilmore, he got to beat up Adam Sandler and show how badass he really was, which was very badass, to be clear. Like, it's a great scene if you've never seen it. Bob, Happy Gilmore, Bob Barker. Like, my favorite scene is whatever the heck, like, Happy thinks he's laid him out, like, BAM! And then just opens his eyes and just, it's great. But, also, he was just a very kind, friendly character in The Price is Right, and, he'll be missed. Something of a personal one. Nate Mullins. Nate was one of the people I graduated high school with. We weren't like best friends or anything. Like, we didn't run in the same circles, but I knew him from middle school and high school at least. He was a nice guy. A lot of people liked him, and I don't have much to say beyond that. He was good, and he'll be missed. Like, I would say he was the me of, like, different social circles. Just like that nice, sturdy guy, you could turn to if you needed, like, help with something. Like, oh, hey, like, I gotta, move some stuff, or, if you needed somebody to talk to. And it sucks that he's not around. He definitely touched, like, a lot of lives, like, his buddies, even years after high school, like, posted some nice things, like times that they had with him, because, they did stuff like that, and, we'll miss you, Nate. You were a good dude. Thank you. Moving on, we got Burt Young. He played Paulie, in the Rocky movies. The character in movies wasn't always the best. He did help Rocky get a job at the meatpacking plant, but he was also rough with his sister at times. Still, he was an important character in Rocky's story, and I like the actor. He was a solid guy from what I know. Which honestly isn't very much, but yeah, he was like, Rocky is one of those big movies for me, like that series, so yeah, it stinks that he's gone. This is another big one, unfortunately. Matthew Perry. Most known for his role in Friends. He was a good guy. I've seen him in a few other roles as well, like The Whole 9 Yards, Serving Sarah, I think it was. I forget. But yeah, very fun, interesting character. He founded the Perry House in Malibu, which is a sober living facility for men. He wanted to help those struggling with addiction. I guess at different points in the 90s, he had issues with addiction, unfortunately, and that was, what he said he wanted to be most remembered for, was the founding of that house to help other people. And yeah, I'm saying it here, so yeah. 2 more, and then we're done with this. Andre Bauer. I know him best for Brooklyn Nine-Nine as Captain Holt. An awesome character who was the captain of the unit, known for being very unemotional. He was a great guy. Also a gay character, and a great father figure to many of the people on his team. I've only seen, clips of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like, because Andy Samberg and some of the other side cast characters just looked funny and interesting, and, he did some good stuff, and, he was great at what he did, and played that character very well, and it stinks that he's gone. And the final and most recent that I know of, Paul of Mitten Squad. He was a YouTuber. Basically, I know him for doing a number of challenge videos on YouTube, for Skyrim and the Fallout series. An interesting guy taking on some funny / interesting challenges. Beat the game with only this weapon, or this type of magic, or, just whatever crazy restrictions, or beating 2 games at the same time. Like, he has the controls set up so, like, oh hey, like, W moves you forward in Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4. So, like, it took some coordination and some effort to make things work. You know, it sucks. I'm gonna pause here, give myself like a minute or two to recover, because I got to talk about plans for 2024. Hey everyone, really quick, just want to talk about, I guess, you know, the resolutions that I have for 2024. You know, I'm not gonna be shooting like pie in the sky goals or anything ridiculous, but there are some things that I want to try and do, and hopefully, you know, will be better for my own personal life. And basically, there's just two that came to mind specifically. The first was get a bit more sleep. Like, and I know it's ridiculous. Like, I don't have as many responsibilities, but I do have some important things. My job, obviously. You know, the people, you know, who need my assistance, which seems to come up a lot. So, you know, just like, oh, hey, like, I gotta get this stuff, or we're having a party for so and so, etc., etc. And like basically, this just boils down to getting more sleep for work, because you know, like I work at 4 a.m. currently, so I'm usually sleeping around between 8 and 8:30, so and then getting up at 2:30. So that's roughly 6 hours of sleep. Ideally, you know, just getting a bit more sleep from like the 7:30 to 8 range is what I'm trying to shoot for on days that I work. On the days where I don't work and I don't have something going on in the morning, you know, I can sleep a bit more and catch up on sleep. You know, there aren't like any concerning health things with this. It's just, it would be nice to not be as tired, because, you know, there's some days after work where I need, you know, like a good 2-hour nap or so because my body's tired. And, you know, unfortunately, there are a couple times where like, oh, hey, like, Brad, we could use your assistance, and I was asleep. You know, it wasn't anything world-ending. It was just, oh, hey, gotta run to the store really quick. You know, gotta get this, gotta get that, etc., etc. So, you know, it's just for that. And then the second thing, which should also help with energy, is basically working out a bit more. Not like to an extreme degree, like, oh, I'm going to lose such and such number of pounds, but just a few simple things that I've done, like, off and on, you know, over the past couple of months even. Which is basically, you know, trying to focus on a couple of areas. Arms, you know, they're solid. Legs, solid. And core, which could be better. And then also a fourth category that I would like to try and work on is cardio, because that's obviously important. But basically, like, I found just doing even crunches, you know, like, just working those core muscles, it helps give me a little bit more energy. So, like, you know, I wasn't as tired whenever I got done with work and stuff. And then just the arms and legs thing is just, you know, because I work at Sam's Club, so, like, I'm lifting some heavy stuff sometimes. So, obviously, it'd be nicer to have, like, oh, hey, like, I can lift this easier. Because I go from, like, paper plates and stuff, which isn't very much, to 40 to 50 pound bags of, like, dog food and cat litter, and even big mattresses that I've got to put up on a shelf. Because that is how the system works currently, which is frustrating. Sorry. So yeah, just a bit more, you know, like, again, not even extreme, just like, oh hey, like, for real. Within the last couple months, you know, like, before I would go to sleep, you know, I would do like 10 to 20 crunches or so, like lying down, like, you know, I'm not going to demonstrate here, but just like, you know, like, where you're just doing crunches. That's all I got. And then I've got some free weights that I keep close to my bed, so, you know, I can just do, like, you know, just to build up some muscle there. And then squats are, again, just an easy thing that you can, you know, fire off a quick 10 to 20 as you're standing, you know, waiting for, you know, I don't know, something in the microwave. Or, like, you're waiting for somebody to catch up with you. Like, it's not pie in the sky goals. It's just some stuff for, you know, better general health stuff that I wouldn't mind doing so that I have a bit more energy. Again, I'm not trying to train to run a marathon or a triathlon or anything like that. Just, it'd be nice to have a bit more energy and, like, yeah. Because I'm 35 now. Going to be 36 in a couple of weeks. And, you know, taking care of yourself obviously is important, and I'm learning that, and taking that more seriously now that I'm in my 30s, because yeah, you feel it, trust me. So if you're in your 20s for some reason and you're watching this, take that to heart. You don't have to, be like freaking gym 24/7 person, but you can do some basic stuff to help yourself out and build good habits for the future. A couple squats here, some free weight time there, etc., etc. Like, I think my plan is going to try and be, like, oh hey, like one day, do the 3 quick exercises, 10 to 20 of each. Next day off, and then on again. So day 1, 3, 5, and 7, oh hey, I'm doing the exercises. Days 2, 4, and 6, I'm off. Give myself a bit of a rest period, see how that goes. Because whenever I did this over the last couple months, it was, okay, I've got work the next day, so I'm going to quickly do these things like right before bed or after I get home from work, if I have the time. Because sometimes I get home and, oh no, I've got to run here and there and a few other places. And then I forget and it falls by the wayside. And then also for 2024, well, so that's that. Also for 2024, if I make it past April 15th, I am 4 years, kidney stone free. Which is currently going to be the record. I passed my first one at 27. I passed another one in 2020. And yeah. So, because they say that 60% of people are going to pass another one within 5 years. So, that's just something I'm shooting for. And, for prevention of kidney stones and such, you just gotta stay hydrated. Drink water, drink cranberry juice, consume cucumbers. I've heard, that drinking cucumber, water, has the same benefits as eating a cucumber. Which, if you've tried eating a cucumber without, like, ranch or some other, dressing, yeah, it's not very pleasant. So, yeah, I'm going to try and do that stuff as well. Because, again, it's important to take care of yourself. I don't have any other, like, serious major goals, like, for YouTube or anything else. But I do have some other ideas that I might try and make happen. Like, for instance, this. This is a Wonder Sphere. Basically, really quick, if I can turn it on. It lights up. I might use this for the D&D series, just like some of the, like, oh hey, magic things. Like, if I use the magic spell Chromatic Orb, or Fireball, or Dancing Lights. Just a good visual aid to try and make that series more interesting and engaging. Again, also, the D&D series, trying to make that more visually engaging as I can. With, like, maps and my characters and, like, it's going to be a lot more work for me to do, but, I want to try that, see how it goes, see how I feel about it. Because just talking like this for forever, not as fun. I'm not going to commit to, redoing Doctor Who stuff. I want to, but again, life's crazy and figuring D&D stuff. But, I wouldn't mind. Like, if I do Doctor Who, it's going to be, like, all of the 3rd Doctor stuff. I've got it done. I start releasing it monthly. Then I move on to 4th Doctor, 5th Doctor, 6th, 7th, and then 8th is a movie. And then Modern Era after that. Yeah. I can't think of anything else specific to talk about for 2024, so I mean, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. If you want to see more of my content whenever I release it, whenever the heck that is, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you like this video, like this video. If you don't do anything. I'm not a professional. I'm not trying to, make money off of this at this point. It's just my personal journal for, the years past, the stuff that I'm doing, etc., etc. And also, if you want to do some D&D stuff, hit me up. I've got at least enough of Strixhaven where I could start something. And then hopefully I can figure it as we go along. Like, I can add stuff because, you have characters and motivations and stuff that you'd like to do. Currently, I'm just going through the book stuff as I can. I think that's it. I hope that's it, because I have to edit all of this, and it is 9:30 on the 1st a.m., to be clear. I've got the whole day, as far as I know. But, yeah. So, thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for sticking by me through 2023, and hopefully 2024 goes well. So, Happy New Year, everyone, to 2024. Clink. I don't have an audio guy. I gotta do this myself with my mouth. So, shush. Peace.